Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Airy Sky Ridley's video blog. I'm about 3 hours behind. Usually my schedule is, well, you know how my schedule is. I woke up this morning and, I went to bed late again. I got through 3 quarters of what you call it, 3 quarters of the movie Ratchet. God blame Zoe for that one. Zoe gets credit for saying great show, Yeah, it is. I mean, literally, I would not think it was not a good show. You got to blame Zoe for that. So, Zoe, you're watching, you get to blame that. Anyways, this morning, I'm live. I want to get those spreadsheets done this morning. Have my coffee and then weird. I'm looking at this blanket that looks like the shape of a cheetah this morning, but I don't have a cheetah or a leopard, and yet it's a leopard print blanket, So it looks like moppy laying, with the. So, anyways, this morning I woke up and I fell asleep last night. I watched the shows, and this morning I got up. I figure I'll get those last two spreadsheets on their way. For some of you preppers out there, I've gotten a couple emails like, where's my preppers list? But the thing is you know where the preppers list is. I don't need to keep posting and give me 20-minute update of pricing either on the prepping list, Secondly, it's going to be warm this morning, it seems. So what we're going to do is open the window and drop the temperature about 30 degrees. All right, there we go. And we're going to have coffee while we do it at the same time. It's more likely the real culprit of it is the lights. These lights, this light, and those little lights above me, they're literally, see if you can see me, they're literally heating the place up in it like an oven. So if you drop the temperature, you're good to go. See, you can still see me, right? Yep, so I told Dinky this morning, that I would be going live for her. So let's have some coffee this morning. I'm very serious about Dinky. Oh yeah, I forgot my pin was. There we go. So anyways, surprised Dinky hasn't told me I'm too old-fashioned yet when it comes to my cell phone. So, had to smile. Yeah, I have crooked teeth. But you know what? My mom could have afforded a lot of things. She just didn't want to give me braces. She didn't want me to be wire mouth. So, over the years, we developed, bad habits and stuff, but at least I try my best to keep my teeth clean. So the other day I was talking to Dinky, and Dinky says, how about this little angel? Something about a doggy, and I was like, I don't care if it's male and female, my only problem is, where do we go to get it? I mean, literally, I can't go to Las Vegas. Can they ship the doggy to me? See, that's what I was working on with her, was shipping the doggy to me, So, Dinky is, Moppy's up there in age, but you know what? I love Moppy dearly, Right now it's sleeping. Finally realized bed's comfortable, floor's uncomfortable. So last night, Chloe's actually getting those dishes down. They were piled way high. She did like 4 loads, so problem is she's got to get the rest done. And then Once she gets it all done, I want to go do a test to see if the humidity affects the dishwasher, and if it is, it should work just fine. And Chloe can't bitch about the stuff, you know. So, anyways, I'm gonna have this first cup of coffee. Uh, yeah. So let me just send a picture to my cousin Dinky. Whoops. Picture to Dinky, which means taking said photo. There we go. So I'm gonna send her these 3 photos I took. Takes me a while. You guys know I don't do selfies that often. Higgs, old boy. There. And while I'm at it, I should go over and upload it to another thing. So, to shout out to my cousin Dinky. Dinky's a awesome person, by the way. Awesome. She emailed me this morning. Oh, wait. Hey, wait. I was just looking at that. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. So a friend of mine's a transgendered woman who uses filters, right? On in Russia, and I have compassion for her because if you speak out about um her against her people, or the president, you're arrested, and that's something I take very take I take very seriously. You should be basically arrested for. So Higgins emailed me again because he has nothing better to do. Higgins, I ain't even gonna bother with you, dude. Not when it comes to that question. Forget it. You're so dwelled on stuff, and I'm not dwelling on anything this morning. So, I need to post. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was gonna update my picture, dude. All right, so I'm gonna caption this. I want to shout out to Dinky, and like I said, this is my morning, so technically I'm not up this early to jump right onto YouTube. So please bear with me, and we'll get to prepping and everything else. I'm just basically slow this morning, not enough coffee. All right, so there we have it. So it says finishing up. Okay, so comment this morning. My pick says. So comment is old lady had a request from cousin-in-law to go live. So live it is. I don't do many selfies as I'm a hermit. There you go. You see, my cousin Dinky got me out of my shell this morning. So thanks, Dink. So, anyways, I keep, you know. So there you go. You know how it is, and I don't even give that. So shall we answer the Higgins question now, or have more coffee? I'd do the Higgins thing personally. He literally wants to know if they haven't updated Social Security in 50 years. I don't care if they haven't updated Social Security in 50, or not Social Security, SSI. You see, Brother Higgins, I love him dearly. Everyone knows that. I love Zoe too. Uh, how long has it been? What, day 5 or day 6 now? It gets easier as people don't message you. Dad was saying, just think of it this way. When people don't message you, he said it last night again. He literally said it again last night. I'm surprised Dinky hasn't heard or asked about the story yet. But anyways, so I'm commissioning Dinky to make up Zoe's stockings, right? The Christmas stockings. Then afterwards, I'm gonna have Dinky or Zoe contact each other. Probably Zoe because they'll be paid for, and um, basically, they're already commissioned. It's already baseball themed. The Cubs, and then afterwards, Zoe can just collect them. Now, if she wants them filled, I have to know where to send them, and I need to know what to fill. And since Zoe's not talking, I figured let Zoe. Yeah, I'll send. I don't have her email address. Okay, so I can't send her gift cards, and I don't have her mailing address. Otherwise, But anyways, my cousin Dinky said, that she'll make them. Now I haven't asked Dinky about an additional $20 or so for shipping them directly to Chicago, because frankly, I'm not going to basically be bothered, after that whole little incident. People say, what incident? Well, I'll tell you, it wasn't easy, I tell you. So anyways, apparently, for Dinky's reference, since Dinky's gonna probably watch this a little later, apparently, well, it's not apparent, it wasn't apparently, it was done humorously. It's not humorously now, okay. So basically, apparently, I called Zoe. She took offense to it a bitch 3 times. And you and I both know that when we throw slang after each other, Dink, we don't take offense. We just laugh. And, so another coffee after this first spreadsheet. It's going to be great. So basically, I wanted to share that with you. So she basically got mad, and it's been like 6 days. On top of that, I think, I think for once, Dad was yelling at me the other day about prepping. Oh, you're all already to recruit prep. Well, if that's your baseline for YouTubers, and he says you need to retire because no one's going to listen anyways. And he said, apparently the other day, which some of these high preppers, and he says every one of them's a insane SOB. Literally, he's like, if anyone's prepping and you're. The truth is we have to prep no matter what. He, of course, thinks he can just give it to God. Fortunately, there's this job the other day, right? I'll tell you about it. My in-law calls me and tells me about this job, right? This job. This is the funniest job in the world, right? So he turns around, he tells me, I said, is it under the table? Is it over the table? Is it I didn't ask about it? And I was more interested in getting the free computer and, So anyway, he goes out with his friend Gary. They want to buy dinner all the time, and Gary's sitting there yelling at Poppy about your preacher's not really doesn't believe in the LGBT community because he's a goon. A goon. He is a goon. All right. So I said to Dad, what justifies a goon, right? What justifies a goon, right? right? What justifies a goon, right? And then his friend. What the hell is wrong with this freaking? So apparently, there's a freaking problem with give me trouble. See, I'm using two different web browsers right now just to see and test, you know. Anyways, the story goes is I'm testing, right? Well, apparently, um, Amazon wants to give a lot of problems with their algorithms, you know, and search strings. Their search strings getting worse and worse, you know. Getting to the point where people message me and they say, "Oh, well, what do you think of it?" And I'm like, "I don't like it," you know, and that's the truth. I don't like it, you know, because everyone asks me about it, you know, and okay, so you know, I'm taking my time this morning. I do want to speed this up because once I'm done, I can do other things, but I also can turn around. Oh yes, I got to handle the Higgins thing too, you know. Again, so anyways, Amazon's got an algorithm problem. So you know, woke up this morning, you know. First thing I wanted was my coffee as usual. So it said Higgins for asking, okay. Yeah, yeah, so so I read this bill really quickly. Better handle Higgins's words. So Higgins is now worried about SSI, right? Oh well, SSI, you know, it gives this thing, right? So the report Higgins gave me was an interesting read. Okay, basically it states Social Security hasn't been updated since 1972. It's true, basically 50 years. Unfortunately, you know, he's basically turning around and being like, "Oh well, if it hasn't updated, what have you learned? Nothing. Frankly, I don't care." You see, the problem is I do care, but I don't care. You see, I'd like to tell you something that's amazing. Okay, now you got these people out there in the world. All right, it goes like this. Amazing in the world, right? And put that there temporarily. As long as Chloe doesn't go walk out and break in. You know, whenever she's blind as a bat, she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Don't worry about it. It was just an accident." See, I can make fun of her this morning. Anyways, she is getting the dish done. She's also angry as hell that I offered $500 for my advocates to, you know, So, story goes, right? Story goes is Social Security hasn't been updated, or SSI hasn't been updated in years, right? And a lot of people turn around and they say, well, what do you mean, right? So I turned around and tell Higgins, look, the truth of SSI is this, okay? I'm full of knowledge. Is you're worried about you're getting on benefits. The world owes you. See, I'm poking fun. I'm poking fun at the badger this morning. You see, I can't literally poke fun at the duck. Ducky's not around. So let me just say, poking fun at Higgins, okay? Higgins thinks he's entitled. I worked for it all my life, and you do for retirement, but you let your Social Security thing expire. But now you're going down the toilet. They're going to give you SSI, and because you signed a lawyer, because you felt guilt tripped into doing it. See, I'm actually speaking on this. You're gonna get approved for SSI. He's gonna take $6,000 off the top of your SSI check because he knows that your SSI is coming. He knows it. So, but since you appealed it, it could be. By the way, I just saw the appeal numbers for appeals. The appeal numbers is a whopping just to get it to level 2, you're looking at 18 to 24 months because they're all working at home. Apparently, they want to pass some bill after the blue wave, supposedly. I say supposedly. See, what happens is if there is no blue wave, right, they're going to all stay at home anyway. So technically, they'll just wait longer. See, Higgins is like, well, I worked for it and I'm going to appeal it. See, when the thing is, you're a complicated case. They're not going to turn around and give you SSDI unless you go to the administrative law judge level, okay? So picture this, everyone, okay? Picture, just poking Higgins today because he's so dwell on SSI this morning. I want to tell him to get a new hobby. I mean, literally, do I got to go send him a scanner and be like, here, program an analog scanner? You might hear the railroad. I mean, literally, he's got to have something better to do than be set on SSI. I mean, look, I play my game. I literally make time for my games, but I'm also reading, unfortunately. So shall we have a little fun this morning and poke the badger? Do not poke the badger. Well, I was reading the Bible this morning, right? Funny story. I was reading the Bible this morning. You're kidding. This might just be beneficial to go on eBay for some of this stuff. I mean, literally. There we go. Okay. That's fine. So, anyways, let me tell you a story. So, I was minding my own business, and people turn around. What the hell? There's got to be another version of this, because if this is the only version, no one's going to pay that kind of price. Oh, here we go. See, you just click on that. See? You got to go look it up without clicking the, they took away my, no! Just give me this. Yeah, see? That's what you want right there. See, I fixed it. I fixed it. Okay, so so let's just go on. So basically, SSI turns around, right? Turns around, and Higgins says, "Oh, have you seen this? This would be a good discussion on your channel." No, it ain't. I make the decision of what goes good on my channel, and I don't think, I don't think posting that would be good. Damn frickin' thing. There. I don't think it would be a good idea, my friends, to talk about Social Security that much, but I will because Higgins is like, oh, well, it looks like it's aged and it's old and it's this and it's that. All right, so let me put it this way, my friends. So basically, out of love for you all, Social Security's running out of money, right? Now you guys could sit there, Dinky. Tell you a story about my cousin Dinky. I love Dinky thoroughly. She's wise, right? She doesn't know the whole story about me and Zoe, and me being polite to Zoe. Even though I keep my word. Apparently, she keeps her word too about being a Wolverine at times with shipping problems. I, for one, am what I am, and that is I get a little moody and I get a little whatever, but I also know that alcohol doesn't solve the problems either, I just like a good drink from time to time, So I will have to let Zoe know eventually how to contact Dink, and I'll let Dink know to contact her, have Zoe email Dinky directly, and once the stockings are complete, I will, the Dinky can make sure she gets them shipped. And that'll be it, Yeah, so. So, anyways, a lot of people asked me the other day about Christmas. They're like, "Oh, what do we do for Christmas?" I'll try to help you out, as much as possible on the idea of Christmas. A lot of people have been asking me about that, and it's like I don't know what to tell you, but you just put money away, earmarked money. So, because once it's done, you'll be feeling a lot better when you have Christmas, So, we're almost done with the first spreadsheet, by the way. I'm just trying to get it done as fast as possible because I'm a little tired, But as everyone knows, I do not falter. So, anyways, so Social Security, Higgins is like, oh, I want to hear whatever you got to say, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting to that point in my life where if this is all they have, then something ain't right with Amazon because they have more than this, There we go. There we go. You see, they just keep freaking hiding it from me. All right, so anyway, so the deal goes, right, that SSI is stable. SSDI, SSR, SS, whatever. And Higgins always chooses these. He's like, oh, well, I'm dwelling on it because, I was telling Chloe the other day, right? We were joking, right? And we were joking because we were talking about Higgins, right? And I said, Higgins is one track, right? Feels like my computer is warping. And I was telling Dad, he said, well, if computers warp on the keyboard, it's usually because of of heat, and so he was talking to me about that, and I was talking to Dad, and I was like, well, it feels, different, Anyway, so he's sitting there like worried that if he gets SSI, the whole asset thing. The thing is, let me put it this way, okay? You read something about how they need to change the asset to protect people. Let me put it this way, okay? He can sit there and says, "Oh, we need to protect the assets because I'm the Higgins, and the Higgins says." Let me put it this way, okay? So they turn around, right? And Social Security, they're not going to do anything. Congress is not going to sit there and worry. It's like basically they're worrying about nothing. If you see something in the middle of this, then be happy that they're thinking of you. If they don't, be happy that you found something. The truth is the government doesn't care, okay? Because frankly, let me tell you what's going to happen in the world, okay? You see, is the government's going to turn around and not care, right? Higgins like, oh well, I paid into it, and I deserve this, and I deserve that. The government, you don't deserve anything. The government thinks you don't deserve anything. So this way, okay, for all of you out there tuning in this morning, the government doesn't think anyone, Higgins, me, Zoe. The government thinks everyone, including me, Higgins, Zoe, Dinky, we're all losers in the government's opinion. We can't manage our own affairs. And if we do, they got to intervene and be like, oh, look, you're living with a retard that can't do this, right? So the other day, Chloe and I were talking about Higgins, and she says, is Higgins semi-retarded? Jokingly, of course, must be retarded. And I said to her, now, Chloe. And she said, no, I'm serious. She says, I can't insult your friend because, because you have crass sense of humor. But I can throw out there that Higgins must retard if he's one tracked. And, so basically the deal is this, okay? I want to tell you guys this so Higgins can freaking oh, well, I'm entitled to it. You may be entitled in your opinion, but the government doesn't see you're entitled to SSDI due to the fact that you let your things lap. You see, the problem is, if to the government, if someone like Higgins allowed his work credit to expire, you think the government's truly, spreadsheet done, by the way, truly would think to, hypothetically would give two craps? No, they throw him in a group home and be like, oh, girl. I mean, literally, whatever he does right now is gonna be like, and no offense, could be the problems of Higgins. I mean, for example, love Higgins dearly. And Social Security. People sit there. Higgins emailed me today, and Social Security. Right? Let's talk about this. Dinky said it herself. There won't be any Social Security money around. Literally. And think of it. They're forecasting because there's no one working right now. The working bums are, I call them the working bums. Before Dinky says, what's the definition of a working bum? The working bum is the definition of a person that sits at home, eats bonbons, sips on soup, and watches TV all day. That's the working bum. The non-working bum is the actual workers that basically are trying to keep this country going, and yet this country is going down the toilet rapidly to the point of to no end. All right. And then you got the people out there that think they can take advantage of um, the people. All right. So let's put it this way, okay? Higgins messaged me and said, "Oh, we're gonna get to $31 a month more in food stamps." Who knows? I mean, literally, he's like a little kid being happy that food stamps is going up. I mean, literally, do you see me happy about? Oh, look, everyone, $31 a month for $250 during the pandemic. Woot woot. I mean, literally. The government leaks that information. You're going to be all happy when you get $231, but no one knows what's going to happen. By the way, I haven't checked out the Twitter feed real quick. I do have Twitter, by the way, but I use Twitter for news articles. Dad was like, "Oh, you should do this." I'm going to grab me some coffee in a second, by the way. I have a cup of coffee. One spreadsheet to go, one to go, and then, my coffee cup is up there. I think I poured it already. All right, so apparently the welfare office, I was checking to see if they get approval because, So apparently July, okay, I don't care about July. I just want to see what they're saying. Office remains closed. You must work at home. Most of the offices are closed. Well, let's see. I posted something, nope, nothing. So they're not disguising. I don't want to join the communal residential team. Yeah, I mean, look at this. They're not even talking, offices closed, repaired, you see. So, anyways, I just wanted to share that with you all. So, anyways, they had this article, right? Had to do with Social Security the other day. And, it's like they were talking about the long lines. What can the government do? The government won't do anything. I mean, literally, it was like I was reading it last night. I think it was. Let me see if I can find it in my histories. I thought it was really interesting this morning. Let me go look. So I was reading up on some gaming news last night, right? I think So last night, I gotta tell you a joke, okay? A joke, something that's nothing has to do um with with what was going on, okay? Now, as you know, I'm a big fan of seafood, and I love good seafood, right? Anyways, Chloe and I were talking about stuff, last night, and we were talking about food, No, it wasn't this early. Let me look. We were talking about batteries last night, right? And then Amazon, and it has to be afterwards. It was on my tablet. It was like Google News or something. Let me look. Firecrack Chrome reasons. Let me see. Yeah. And then talking about the Abbott thing. And Chloe and I were talking about Bill Cosby, we were talking about that. It wasn't YouTube, it was we were looking at baseball. This was here it is. I found it for you guys, okay? So this is an article that came out. Higgins probably emailed me now like, no, I'm not gonna answer you, Higgins. No. Says man, so yeah, see, it doesn't show who messaged me this morning. Wish it was Zoe this morning, but she would never email me anyway. So anyways, let me go on the whole Social Security thing, okay? So basically, Higgins is sitting there, like, me and the Lord is going to appeal it because I'm entitled to my benefits, right? Well, this is the crap I got to hear. Give me 1 second. We're going to find my pants. Jim, I put my pants on this morning. I'm talking to you guys because I can. You see, wearing pants is easy when you find the pants you want to wear, as long as they're not bell bottoms and, whatever. So what I'll do is I'll put my pants on and we'll continue. So, and I'm not going to poke the badger, okay? I'm actually making a statement here. So if he thinks he's entitled, well, he's entitled. That's his brain set. To me saying I'm entitled, I mean, my cousin and I, we talk about how these privileged douchebags think that they're entitled for everything. They don't have to work. And this is what the government's feeding them. But the truth is, I'm sorry to say this, I was talking to the advocates the other day, right? The advocates turned around. I literally had to beg them to contact someone about because they're a social worker as well as extended family to go and deal with Chloe's mental illness through that. And the lady understands. I mean, I said Chloe's getting worse. Chloe's got to go on Tuesday to schedule it, right? So, anyways, the story goes is I was talking about long lines, right? Congress's upcoming continued resolution the government funding the next official key. See, they basically funded everything but Social Security. You see, so basically, so currently Higgins in his state is like 214 days plus. So like certain parts of the state's 200 days. It used to be like less than a month when I was in 2002, right? So Senator Chuck Schumer basically was complaining, right? AARP noted wait time is 31 minutes. Yeah, if you get on early in the morning. Okay, this is the thing. They're lying about the numbers and say, oh, we need more money for Social Security. No, we don't. I'll tell you why we don't need to pay more money for Social Security. Because they're all at home, sitting on their ass, twiddling their thumbs, delaying things, right? So, the 800 number, it's 10 times longer than, no, early in the morning. Monday and Tuesday is always busy. Wednesday through Friday, say 4 in the morning when they had it set to Eastern Standard Time for their call centers, you can get right through. You'd be like, oh, you're calling from Washington. It's really early this morning, ma'am. Yeah, so, that was 2002. Now, the claim is more 2 years for a final decision. 2 years. Well, that's just for 2 years is just for the second appeal. Basically it says right here, 10,000 die a year without an answer. And, people are like, oh, you know what? I'll tell you what. You get Medicaid food stamps, fine. But if you don't have anything more and you die because, well, you don't have cash money, whose fault is it? It's not our fault. We're not supposed to support your sorry ass. Let me put it this way. When you get people, no offense to anyone, who can't handle their life, and then they crumple under this or that, and then they go into massive depression and everything else because of whatever reasons. Whose job is it to freaking look after them, huh? Oh, well, some of these people need a group home. They refuse to go to a group home, but they won't refuse someone saying, oh, here's how it works, my opinion, okay? The government turns around, right? And they turn around. And let's just say, hypothetically, these people had working jobs like my cousin and aunt and all this crap. All of a sudden, they're disabled. They got to go to work. But they're disabled. But sorry, they don't want to go to work. Then what happens? For example, they stop. All of a sudden, SSDI sounds pretty good because they don't have to do much. The problem is with these fucking lazy sacks of shit. Turn around, and once they get out, oh, what else is I with my wife, but I doesn't bring in enough. And then you got someone like Brother Higgins, who I love dearly, poking the bear this morning, going, oh, I'll get to the whole Social Security thing from Higgins, okay? Then you got the problem with, are you ready for this? Running out of money. Now, Social Security knows they're running out of money. So what are they doing? They're cutting corners. Higgins says, oh, well, I got the lawyer who's going to charge up to $6,000. The lawyer, no. The thing is, when you signed up with him, you signed up for SSI or SSDI. They can't guarantee SSDI because they don't know your whole case. And because the lawyer's doing a half-assed job, he's conned you, the Higgins, to go get the records. I mean, I talked to my advocate, my adjuster friend. They literally said the lawyer does all the fucking work. What you're doing is you're fucking getting it. And if you have to do it and scan it for him, then you're just giving him, you're trying to give him a win. The thing is the credits are expired, right? They put in the credits expired thing so they don't have to pay. So what Higgins is going to do is he's going to try to top it up to the next level. The problem is, see, listen to this. Federal agency has been stretched so thin because of the Social Security budget. This is an actual news article that came out yesterday. Shrank by 14%. The number of beneficiaries climbed up to 22%, right? 22% in that time frame, 10%, in 10 plus years, right? Here's the kicker. Added burden of the pandemic not helped steady SSA administration finding over the past decade. To date, no appropriation bill is enacted for fiscal year 2023. So you might get one in 2024, but here's the freaking kicker. While Higgins is worried about his SSDI check he's fighting, he doesn't realize this is coming from a reliable source, basically. This is coming from a reliable source that says, so they need to raise 6%, but President Biden ain't signing it, They'll still up shore up the resources, which they're not shoring up because currently they can't do it. Without additional funding, which they've already passed the budget, and it didn't have anything more in Social Security or SSI. State Disability Discrimination Services, or the SDDS, who makes the decisions. Is that discrimination? Yeah, whatever. States are only approving 25%. So if it gets for second level appeal, the state still allows it, but each state's different. It says here that each state's different and each state can go longer. So, for example, if you get denied the first time, you're approved for SSI, they say take the SSI. But if they turn around and deny both cases, then you appeal it. The wait time is currently almost over 584 days for a second level appeal because the level one adjusters are backlogged. So this is why the lawyers are having you do as much as you can because they know that it's backlogged and they're basically lining their pockets full of gold and so forth. The highest employee departure rate currently is the Social Security Administration due to the fact that they're leaving and they can't literally fill the seats of people leaving. Those state services are funded by Social Security, but they're understaffed too, and the states don't want to cover it, it says. And it says the highest employee departure rate is yada, 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 on that for within the phone services. Without more funding, these issues can exacerbate to make it last longer. See, this is why Higgins doesn't realize they're working from home. Oh, they're working at home. They're doing a great job, really. What if the level one appeal guy gets 500 cases before yours, Higgins, and he's overloaded and he quits? Your case will be stuck in limbo for 3 or 4 years due to the fact how they can rotate, right? So Social Security is so... and I'll explain what they're doing, people. This is going to scare you to no end, but you guys got to hear it from me anyway. So, see, even the routine tasks are being delayed, name change, birth of a new family member, getting a Social Security card. So the AARP is like, oh, we're gonna, you know what? They're not even talking about it. This just came up last night. So shall we continue with the scariness of SSI? Because frankly, you guys are gonna be shocked at what I'm about to tell you. They're running out of money. Social Security's running out of money. So Higgins are like, oh well, I'm gonna think of it. Let me put it this way: 5 years, Higgins is gonna be retired. I'm using the Badger as an example, okay? But Higgins needs to realize Social Security is running out of money. If they can't secure funding, to increase funding for the current official. You see, here's the problem with Social Security, okay? The government, the president and the vice president, they funneled money into the FBI, right? They funneled more money into the FBI. They want to crack Donald Trump. They literally want to crack him. And to do that, they're funneling money into the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, etc. Right? Think about it. People say, "Oh, you're paranoid, Ritter." Think about it. They're funneling money into other agencies, military, making sure we don't go to war with China, etc., etc. More carriers, more subs, more this, more that. They're diverting the spending the what do you call it the necessary, putting it to the unnecessary. Remember what I said. Each on the preppers list is the necessary and the mandatory and the non-mandatory. Mandatory is food, water. The non-mandatory is other things, right? So think of it this way. Social Security is going to run out in 2027, they say, for disability insurance. Everyone on disability insurance gets kicked off and put on SSI. That's all they can do. They can switch everyone to SSI because it comes from the general fund. All they got to do is raise a few taxes here and a few taxes there, and voila, 70 million people get put on the general fund. Then they don't have to worry about it. What do you call it? Me and Pee Wee used to talk about it all the time. It's a um, um, basically it's basic funding. UBI, Universal Basic Income. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to dissolve Social Security. And the only way they can do it is basically allowing it to collapse, And Higgins says, "Oh well, I'm entitled to it. I'm going to get my disability insurance." Really? So you're willing to wait up to 600 days or something for level 1 appeal in your state because they're all sitting at home. There's no funding to fund the level 1 appeal. And then when you do get through, say 2 or 3 years later, hypothetically, by the way, I'm being funny here. Then when you're denied it, your lawyer's just sitting back with a can of cola in his hand going, "Whoa, it's only 20." And by the way, without Social Security and people working to pay this, paying enough Social Security taxes, Social Security retirement fails, Social Security disability, and Social Security survivors. So let's just say Social Security runs it. That's why Dinky was saying Social Security will be dead. Social Security will be dead. Why? Because Dinky knows it better than I do. Yeah. And what is the government doing? I'll tell you. Give me 1 second, by the way. The government want to destroy Medicaid. Okay. So the government is trying to destroy Medicaid because the doctors don't want to take it. You see, here's the deal, everyone. everyone. You see, federal government is slowly breaking away from benefits. That's the truth, breaking away from benefits. And, and people don't know this, You see, I love Dinky very much, right? Dinky doesn't say, "Oh, well, you're a bloody freeloading mooch." Actually, no, I think she was joking. But truth is, look what I'm saying, right? Here's what's happening, okay? Every store in America is literally taking food stamps. Same with freaking grocery stores and other places. Costco and Sam's Club, I don't think does. If Sam's Club does, Costco doesn't, there's a real problem. But I don't have a Sam's Club around. And my cousin and I haven't talked about Costco yet either. So let me tell you the story, okay? There's hardworking people like Corey and Dinky and Piper. I miss you, Piper. Hope you're all right, man. So I miss you too, Tone, wherever you're at. Probably basically mourning loss of the Queen or mourning the loss of me being an idiot, one of the two. But anyway, so Social Security's running out of money, right? And so they want to put everyone in general fund. So they don't pay into Social Security. I mean, think of it. There's a whole House and Senate, right? Whole House and Senate, right? Basically like, a 2020 blue wave or something, right? And you got all these people turning around. They're like, "Oh, yes, we need a blue wave, right?" Dude, I don't care, okay? Just leave me alone. Anyway, so what happens, right? People are pestering the shit out of me. So, what happened is they ran out of money. They literally ran out of freaking money. Yeah. They ran out of money, basically, and they're not putting more money back in. Do you see anyone in Congress and the Senate making any Social Security deals? No. They're literally not doing anything, and Higgins, he's just like, "Oh, I don't care," because, eventually everyone's going to be on SSI anyways because there's no money to take care of the Social Security the truth. Truth is, they're not going to shore it up. They don't plan to shore it up. They think the system needs to be dead. I mean, ugh, dumb. So Higgins like, "What's so special about January 3rd? That's the day when the new Congress is sworn in." What a freaking buttski. He doesn't even know when his own Congress is. I think he's so fixed on Social Security. I think maybe you should watch this video to realize there is no money. There is none. You see, let me put it this way. You got the House and Senate, right? They got a new Congress, right? And the new Congress will be sworn in, right? What happens when there is no new Congress? And you guys sit there and say, "Well, I thought, no, you thought wrong." I like how this guy here keeps lowering his rate, on his stars. It's like 100%. Someone was like 100%. Now it's like 80%. And people are like, "Oh, this guy's a scammer," and everything else. I love it. I just love how they, if you buy something, you can give the rating. I mean, usually on eBay, I get good ratings when I buy. Damn freaking dumbass. And then the damn thing is basically broken yet again. I mean, literally, I cannot believe, that they actually are allowing this to stay broken. Okay, so So anyway, Social Security's running out, right? So Higgins is sitting there being like, oh, well, one year. And thing is he doesn't want to listen to anyone. He thinks he can listen to, the lawyer's better suited because the lawyer's got a degree. Thing is if you want to believe a lawyer over someone like me, then fine. Thing is, I'm more educated than most people because I keep an eye on Social Security. I mean, look, my cousin Dinky would trust me over a lawyer for news. A bunch of pack of bastards, ball washers are basically turning around and milking you for every damn dime. And frankly, that's the problem in this greedy country, and this is why the country's going down the toilet. I mean, literally, you think China wants to give us loans to take care of Social Security? No, he wants the damn Social Security to go down the toilet. China does. I mean, look at the way the country's going. People sit there and say, oh, well, we're paid into it. See, you got these dumb dipshit fucking Republican peckerwoods, half the Republican peckerwoods out there, okay? And I'm not talking the peewees, and I'm not talking anyone, right? I'm saying half the fucking country thinks they paid into it. Fortunately, what if they put the rules out there that if you don't work for 5 or 10 years and you don't apply for benefits and you're living off your severance packages, it happens. Dad was bringing this up the other day. What happens? You get screwed. And then what? You don't get money. And then you sit there and be like, but I'm entitled because I paid into it. Really? Then you're entitled to it, but let me just put it this way. The government tapped into it for the Vietnam War, and you don't complain that it's your money, you want it back, or before they put a lock on it, or what about the entitlements you do it? Yet, like my cousin Dinky says, most smartest Republican woman I have ever met in my entire life. I'm giving her props here. You know what? She may be a Republican, but what I love about my cousin Dinky the most is how she's badass. She's like freaking badass. She's the definition of badass. And I'll tell you why. Because she turned around one night, we're having drinks. Yeah. Not like, hold on. I gotta, make a joke here for Zoe's sake. Just freaking find it, you freaking hilljacks. I hate when they do that. All right, there we go. So basically, jokingly aside, right? She and I were having drinks one day, and she and I were sitting there having a blast. I think we were at walking around town, and we actually sat there, and she wanted to show me a good time in Portland, and I think I ended up going into we went to strip bars and stuff, and one of the conversations we had this one dive hole place. I can't even remember the name of it, but it was just a dive hole completely, was this place where she sat there and we had a conversation, and I don't know if that was the place that was the first place we got food or not, but this place was like a dive hole. I mean, I felt like I was high on some type of drug. I mean, literally, Dinky has that like, if my husband says, what mushrooms feel like, or LSD. I mean, I was like this going a slow mo like my entire life. I was like, and I remember eating at this place and staggering out in my nice dress, and going from one place to the other, and it was interesting because I love Dinky dearly. And two is, we talked about Social Security, and I said, and Dinky never considered me a mooch. She literally looked at me and she says, damn it, Rita. By the time I'm fucking retired, every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry's going to drain the system. I was like, but I'm disabled. She says, I know you're disabled, but I'm saying every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry's going to drain it. So me and your cousin has to figure out a fucking different retirement thing. I mean, I remember clearly she's slim macking kind of like an anger thing. Like, I'm not going after you, Rita. I'm literally going after, Corey said the same thing. We were driving down the road once in his Jeep. He was going to go get an energy drink or something. And, you know, and the problem is, Corey told me to meet up with him, right, or something. So I ran out of money because of, because I was at this bar or something and waiting for him, And I love my cousin dearly, and he bailed me out, But the thing is I was upset at the fact that, and family sticks together, But the thing is, sometimes money doesn't, go far. People know that money don't go far because basically, how would money go far? When money runs out, And so a lot of people say, "Oh well, money goes far." Really? Tell me that how it goes again. Because the way I see it, it doesn't go far. So, that's because, the cost of living. Everyone sits there and says, literally, and so with, the point is, Social Security's running out of money, and Dinky and I, Dinky can back me up on it. Literally, you got all these people saying, oh, you know what it is? There's too many people in the country that want Social Security disability now. That's the freaking truth, What's the truth? Think of it. Get these people, right? They're sitting there. They're at home. They're like, oh, no, I can't take the Social Security because, I'm I'm under it. It's below me. I can't basically, and then people brainwash them to taking it. Next thing you know, look at that. He turned around and he says to me last night, he's looking to get another job. So I asked Dad, I said, you got a job, right? Lined up. And he said, oh, yeah, someone wants to send me a computer and I handle all the orders. Every hour I check the orders for like 8 hours and then I go coffee shop. So I said, what if you're sleeping during the day and the orders are piling up? He said, then I do them in the morning. I told him my schedule. If they can't handle me doing it, then, the point is, but he says, I told the guy at the interview and I said, Dad, why are you working? Well, the economy is bad and prices are bad and, I don't mind making. I said, under the table or over the tender, it doesn't matter to me. They're paying the taxes anyway, so I can work as many hours as I want for being 72. So he can work as many hours as he wants, 72. And it just means he's strengthening. And some of these old farts, the problem with the old farts these days, and people don't realize is there's two problems happening with Social Security. One is, I'm going to check the comments, is we are running out of money. We're literally running out of money. You guys turn around and say, oh, but, think of it. We're running out of freaking money. Literally, you think the government's going to keep bailing people out? No. You're going to see the entire country of 70 million elderly sitting there panhandling soon. Government's only got a backup card of the general fund. So they'll switch everyone to SSI, and then they're going to make the rule. Then when the rules are changed, the 70 million people are in SSI. By the way, they say that they'd run out of money by 2035 for SSR. They're talking 2027 for SSDI and SSR and survivors. So the pot's going to run out by 2027. So they don't give two shits whether they fucking delay it longer, no offense to the F-bomb, or later. Literally, when you get people that say, oh, I'm entitled to money, really? Then while you're entitled for your Social Security money, you pay it in supposedly, even though you have no work credits. Hypothetically, guess what? Like every other Tom, Dick, and Harry in the world, you can wait like everyone else, level by level. Time you get to your, by the time you get to level administrative law judge, two outcomes: you'll get approved, you'll get denied, or you'll have to go higher. And the joke goes, if you're going to go higher, then what? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Because I love this part of the whole administration law judge thing. Ooh, not bad. Sorry. So anyways, let me tell you the story, okay? Then what happens, right? Well, let's just say they make you wait 584 days for level 1 appeal, right? And people are saying, I don't need my $841 SSI because I'm entitled to SSDI. Then next thing you know, what happens? They wait 584 days. Sorry, you don't qualify. Well, I'm going to go to the administrative law judge, right? So they go and do the thing, and it gets denied again, and eventually gets to the administrative law. What if the administrative law judge's wait time's like 900 days or more, or longer, because Social Security doesn't have the funding? So the people keep quitting, so the cases keep getting undone, and eventually you get to the administrative law judge, and then, let's say hypothetically, they say, oh, you must be Mr. Johnson. We're sorry to say that Social Security ran out of money, so you're still alive? Then the judge would only have to grant it under SSI because he can't give you SSDI because there's no money. And as long as Congress allows this to run out, they're not going to renew the Social Security. If they decide to renew Social Security, it would trigger a whole pandemic of thingies, basically being like, well, why are we paying for the Social Security budget? Literally, they want to get rid of VA, but they can't. So what are they doing? They're trying to knock out Social Security. The other problem is, let me tell you the other problem, the whole issue. Social Security is just the tip of the iceberg. Has anyone realized in the world of government funding that Social Security will go, but that means Medicare will too. People say, oh, well, Medicare is great. No, it isn't. Let me tell you, you either have Medicaid, Medicare, or private insurance from a company, right? Let me tell you, private insurance, they love you. Medicare, they hate you. Medicaid, they truly hate you. Let me tell you a story, okay? Now, I like poking fun at the badger, okay? He pokes fun at the bear, but let me be brutally honest with you, right? Higgins and I pokes fun at each other because at least as extended family, we won't get mad at each other and, leave each other for excess amounts of grog intake, okay? But Higgins also knows I speak my mind, and he likes someone who's open-minded. So, for example, we're not talking about Higgins here, but for example, we are. And I'm not talking about the whole Social Security thing. I'm talking about Medicaid. He goes into his doctor. All right, this is a true story. He was panicking. He was on the phone in tears. Literally asking me what to do. He goes to his doctor's appointment with his mom. So the story goes, he goes in. And the doctor emails him a letter or a release of info to sign, right? So he could get treatment early and stuff. And he says, I don't want to, and he threw tension. Let me put it this way. He literally had a gut feeling, okay, if I do this, he told me of them that he did that 15 years ago, 10 years ago or something. Well, he lost his doctor. And the lady literally was like, so they went and made him wait like 20, 30, 45, 50 an hour long, right? So he finally got in to sign it, right? After like 2 or 3 nurses' assistants, nurses' aides, etc., right? Well, guess what? His doctor turned around and terminated the relationship with they can due to the fact that he was throwing supposed temper tantrum over signing this form. Think about it. And yet, I have sympathy for Brother Higgins. Now, Higgins has another problem. You sit there and you say, oh, well, and Higgins is completely right. This is something that someone says, oh, well, Higgins got what he deserved. No, he didn't. You see, Higgins wanted to ask about his records for the lawyer, right? For the lawyer. What happened? The lawyer, what happened? When he terminated the service, right? They terminated him. He didn't terminate them. Doctors can do that. Higgins found out 2 problems. 2. That is, the medical field doesn't want to deal with him because, they knew he was going to ask about it because he was denied benefits, People say, oh, well, good for them. Higgins doesn't deserve it. He's a freeloading mooch, blah, blah, blah. Maybe. I'm not going to judge, you know. But out of love for Higgins, you guys need to know the final part of the story. In terminating Higgins' services, it's now getting harder and harder for people to get Medicaid. Think about it. It's harder and harder. He turned around, right? The other day, I love Higgins dearly. He's an awesome person. He knows this. So, let me tell you. Brother Higgins the other day turned around and was telling me, what do I do? It's hard to get a Medicaid and find one. Well, the thing is they're making it harder and harder for people to take state Medicaid. The truth is they don't want you to have state Medicaid. You sit there and you're like, oh yeah, well, I'm entitled. Really? Let me put it this way. While you are highly entitled for your state Medicaid, are you well aware the state Medicaid program literally screws you over? I mean, look. Let me put it this way. You go around. You think, I'm entitled, I'm going to get it, right? I'm not talking Higgins. I'm talking about the freeloaders. Yet, freeloaders don't realize that Medicaid's being cut down. Doctors are getting tired of it. And let me put it this way. You wake up in the morning, you get out of bed, you sit there and say, today's going to be a good day for me to help people. And yet, turn around and what happens? The worst. The worst. The worst. You see, without the state funding Medicaid, right, they're cutting corners. And a lot of you sit there and say, well, how does that affect prepping? Trust me, if you don't keep prepping, you might see a revolt of all the elderly basically getting pissed that they paid for their damn services and they're not getting any. You see where I'm going with it? I mean, literally, the government sits there and they're basically dictating what treatments can be issued, what meds can be issued, and everything else. They're not caring about the average American anymore, but it's not their entitlement. Thing is, they turn around and say, look, why should we help? And they say, well, it's by law, you gotta. By law, we don't have to do shit. I mean, literally, that's the thing, and people sit there and say, well, we're gonna run up. I mean, everyone knows everyone knows, okay? Let's just say I love Dinky, right? And Dinky knows this, I know this, you guys know it now. We're running out of money. We're running out of money. That's the truth. And how are we gonna do it, right? Let me put it this way. Currently, I was talking to someone the other day about the numbers. The numbers don't add up. If you have people working at home, they should be working at home. They shouldn't be delaying things. But Social Security is putting a lot of strain on these people. Their orders deny people, terminate them, fire them, do whatever, work them to the bone, and then swap them out with someone else. But where's the budget? Where's the budget for Social Security? Where's the budget for SSI, for General Fund? Where's the budget for? I mean, literally, they're not even talking about a campaign trail. I mean, literally. So I thought, So just going through the news real quick. There's nothing this morning. So, Social Security's running out. Everyone's complaining. Then they tapped into the Vietnam War. They tapped into this. They tapped into that. And to me, no. So why should I get into spam email with this? All right, give me 1 second, people. I really look. I keep saying this to frickin' do this, stupid hilljack son of a bitches. I mean, I deleted the spam, and yet it's back in my damn inbox because of it. I mean, literally. I mean, it's like you can't leave Gmail. Yeah, I can. Give me a second, everyone. I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. I'm the only one watching, so it's a good thing I finished this up. So, basically, doesn't realize that, they're not going to pay and update Social Security or SSI. They don't want to. They want everyone to be punished, and they do it for security reasons. So, it is what it is. So, yeah, that is what it is. Starting to dislike the Amazon algorithm. Trying to get this done. But yeah, anyways, like I said, there's a lot of people out there that literally what you're looking at is a big, big problem, with the with everything. And I'm very well educated. Some people say, "Oh well, Rita, you should." You know what? Thing is I should. That's the thing. I basically am educated myself to keep you guys in the loop. And when it comes to everything going down the pipe, you got to realize what's going to happen in the future. You know, and it's sad because no one truly knows what's going to happen. So, because it's the way it is. A lot of people say, "Oh well, but what?" The thing is, the American people need to realize that that Social Security's they're that's the agency that people are working at home, and they like working at home, and they plan to stay working at home because they don't want to do anything more. You know, thought about taking a trip one of these days. You know, take a trip to Portland. Or not Portland. Sorry, Texas. Apparently ain't in Portland anymore. But a lot of people say, "Oh well, you should." I should what? And if I go through Chicago, maybe I can see Zoe. If she'll see me. More likely she won't. You know. But it would be fun to go to Chicago on the train, but Dinky wants me to take a plane. She doesn't want me taking. So I'm just working away. But yeah, I mean, a lot of preppers out there, they're like, well, should we keep prepping or should we not keep prepping? Keep prepping, because we don't know what's going to happen. So, okay, Boon. Neighbor next door is pounding this morning. Haven't heard that in a long time. So I'm working away on the spreadsheets, like I said. So once I get done with my spreadsheets for today, I will go over the spreadsheets and I will tell you. Well, I might as well do it now while I'm taking a short break. You check on Google Calendars. All right, so I want to go by the monthly look. I hate the daily. Okay, so I'm scheduling time for YouTube as well this week, next week. That's what I'm doing right now for you guys. Takes a while, you know, but it gets done. All right, so the next week's been scheduled in, so there we go. So, all done. Done in no time. And then when I'm done, well, Animal Crossing for the rest of the day, I guess. Cousin Dinky asked me about what I'm interested in, doggies. And I was like, oh, well, you know, it doesn't matter to me, you know. You know, I was hoping to hear from her on other issues, you know. Mm-hmm. We'll be right back. Okay, so anyways, like I said, everyone, we you know, got to keep prepping because you know it's not out of the woods yet. A lot of people say to me, "Well, when will it get better?" Well, who knows? I mean, you know, Higgins, he was talking about Social Security not being updated. They don't want to update it. They don't have the funding to update it, and they don't plan to. You see, the truth is they're not thinking about it. They're not basically putting that on the table. You know, because frankly, if you want to get technical, the American people are more interested in overturning Roe versus Wade and other issues. They're not, you know, they're not literally thinking about overturning anything else, you know. That's the truth. You know, the truth is they're not going to put that on the table. They could, but they won't. They sit there and they say, "Oh, you know, we need to work on what's important," but no one's talking about increasing SSI. Now, Chuck Schumer said something about it, but that was only on an article. thing is, do you see it going anywhere else? No. You know, I mean, they're focused on Roe versus Wade, telling women that their rights are being taken away. And they're going and saying, this is why I play devil's advocate. And they're saying, look, if you believe in this, then they're basically saying, look, I mean, literally, they are worried about Roe versus Wade, interracial marriage, same-sex marriage, contraceptives, and everything else on their agenda. They're not basically plopping anything else down like, I don't know, like other things, And so people sit there and say, well, what do we do, Damn then frickin' leave. There we go. So there you have it, Basically, they're literally, so you got to prep, because what happens if, I mean, let me put it this way. The other day, right, we had power outage. You can sit there and say, oh, you had a power outage, Rita, really? All night. It was scheduled. Why was it scheduled? Which reminds me. Let's see if this needs batteries today or not. Yep. That's what I thought. I heard it last night. I was like, I'll get to it. All right. So, the bottom line is yeah, I use the rechargeable because half the rechargeable ones I bought, basically, So hopefully this will last me till Monday. Otherwise, I'm going to be screwed. Yeah.
EMT Nichols and myself is 5548 are on beat.
Oh.
Park 548, Park 266, and EMT Nichols all on team 12
So basically, now we got this working. Basically, I need to find my shirt. I think it's this one I'm wearing, right? Yeah. Okay. Yep. So the bottom line is, for you people out there, keep prepping because, we had a power outage, right? Power outage was given as a scheduled power outage, and it means it was basically like half the state was out of electricity because Bonneville shut down to redo some stuff. So if they have to shut down half a state or the entire Bonneville grid just to get repairs done, then you can know damn good and well that our power grid system is failing because they have to shut half the state down. Because, back in the day, back in the 1980s, my cousin says I live in the past, probably true, old-fashioned. Back in the day, back in the tight waters, Mr. Wallace, a movie called Dead Man's Walk. Back in the day, in the 80s, power outages only happened during massive weather storms. Massive weather outages, not before then. So think of it. They're scheduling half the all of the Bonneville grid to go down. Which, by the way, if you go to the Bonneville Power Administration, it's under the freaking federal government. They can just flip a switch. Send notices out to the entire Bonneville grid and say, well, between 10 and 6, no power. We have to repair the power grid. Which means you sit there and you either read the newspaper and be like, oh, we're going to have a power outage. Or you go to the gas station and they say, oh, make sure to turn off everything you need to. Chloe's like, why? Oh, there's a power outage coming. Chloe comes to me and says, oh, we're going to have this power outage tonight. Better break out the lanterns. Our power grid is underpowered now. Back in the 80s, we didn't have any problems with power. They could shut off one section, fix it, and we wouldn't even know we'd still have power. Now, the power grid is so overloaded that the American people get these notices being like, yes, we're going to turn off your power because we have to fix it. You see, in the 90s, they didn't have this problem. 2000, they didn't. It's now 40 years later, and they got to basically shut down the power grid with people around to make sure that people know that the power's going out. Like, oh, we're going to shut down this, and that means it affects a lot of counties while we have no power because the Bonneville had to shut it down. Or, there's other dams in the Columbia that's owned by the government, that's subcontracted by Puget Utility District or, other smaller companies. We get our electricity from Bonneville, so and then the other thing is because we're on an island, everything's contracted. So technically, for example, say internet, right? You mind your own business, you enjoy your internet, and all of a sudden, and then the electric comes and says, "Oh, we're being shut down because they're doing repairs." And while we're shut down for this 8+ hours, we're going to do repairs on the island to make sure we don't lose power, which we usually don't. But, back in the 80s and 90s, when I was around the 2000s, I'm up there in age, where, we don't have electricity problems. And now they do. They got to shut down an entire grid just to basically repair something because it's their time to fix it because, oh, well, it's outdated. So no one's going to mind if we shut them down. Some people do. What about people in the CPAPs machine? Buy a generator if you have one, if you live in an apartment. Well, then stay up and walk around until we restore it. One of the things I do not like is to sleep without a light on. So the lantern kept it going all night, all because I didn't want to run without lights, And yet, at the same time, you know, you know. So the bottom line is the American people need to realize, you know, oh yeah, look at that cute little Shih Tzu. I love these little Shih Tzus, you know. There we go. So basically, the bottom line is the American people need to realize that, these things are happening now. I mean, literally, it's going to get to the point from now on until the power grid's fixed and then power grid that they're going to turn around and literally shut down your power in intervals. Meaning like, oh yeah, we're going to repair this and we're going to shut down the whole power grid for it. And you, the people, don't realize that it's happening. I mean, and so people sit there and say, oh, well, I was looking at the, they updated their website. So, you got, they still have the, there's only 2 places without power right now, too. And then if you go to planned outages, they're talking about planned, says affected by planned power outage, server Bonneville Power Administrator makes scheduled repairs to the transmission lines and deliver power to the island. The maintenance outage will happen during the night to minimize the impact to customers, but that just leaves them with 8 hours of no electricity or 9 hours of whatever, for look at something. That was an interesting thing. What's this? What is this? What is this exactly? I came across something, strategy role playing. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Didn't even know they had that. See, I came across something by mistake. It was on the front page of something. So, but the point is they have to shut down the power now, and because of it, this is why I keep telling you to prep just in case, there is a power grid failure. I mean, literally, not just that, but natural disasters. And not just that, just in case civil war. And not just that, in case not just that, but Civil War, and possibly World War III, and everything else. I mean, literally, people sit there and say, "Oh, what are we prepping for?" Prep like your life depends on it, because you don't know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. Do you want to live, or do you want to basically sit there and curl up and say, "I have had enough of this world"? I won't stand down either, but still, the point is the American people need to basically realize that we're at a precipice where, you got the Democrats, playing devil's advocate and want you to be forced to drive electric cars. But let's just say, right? So they say we run out of oil by 2067. But again, they didn't take into account of the, and I'll get to something in a minute. They didn't take account of houses needing housing oil. Pee Wee's house takes propane, so propane. They didn't take into account of cruise liners and cargo ships that need bunker fuel. They don't take into account of jet fuel. They don't count for acetylene torches, propane stoves, white gas. Coleman is white gas, Coleman fuel, unleaded gas for your cars, your cooking stoves, or your oils. They didn't take paraffin oil or lamp oil. They didn't take into account of all this stuff, right? All this stuff. And then they say, oh, we might run out of gasoline by 2035. And then they say, oh, maybe 2030. So 2030 to 2035, we might be out of gasoline because we consume so much of it. But then, you got the Republicans, playing devil's advocate here, who basically say, well, we'll come to that bridge when it comes to it. Well, that'd be great to do because I'd frankly do the same thing. I'd kick the can because frankly, unless we have the true numbers, what's the point of even bothering? I mean, literally, the governments want the oil for themselves because think of it. The government turns around and they try to force everyone in the world, hypothetically, following the U.S.'s stupid lead to electric cars, which means we got to spend trillions of dollars on upgrading the infrastructure for gas, right? For electric cars. But can our power grid handle it? No. So even if we basically utilize the desert for solar, we still have to replace solar panels from time to time, or if it gets damaged from a tornado or a cyclone, or an earthquake. Then the other side of the coin is, even if we put in more hydro dams, we got to put in fish ladders. And then on top of that, let's just say we're utilizing hills with a lot of wind for wind power. That leaves solar, wind, hydro. Then they say, oh, well, we got enough coal. As a backup, people could travel by train, by coal, like the old days, then we just burn up all the coal. What happens if we ran out of coal after we couldn't do it because no one wants to put in for the power grid? What did they do? They put in coal power plants. They put in coal power plants. They put in nuclear power plants. They put in nuclear power plants. They then turn around and say we're using clean energy, but at the same time, how is it clean energy when you got to concrete a 5-foot mile hole in the ground, concrete it in with lead, and basically put a sign on it that says "Do not open for 10,000 years" due to the fact that the American people use nuclear power? I mean, look, certain countries use nuclear power, but at the same time, what happens when we run out of nuclear power? Huh? When you wake up one morning and you see, that our entire country is radioactive with used up isotopes from nuclear spent rods. I mean, think of it. I mean, literally, we don't have the grid and the power, and we have to have the engineers to maintain the nuclear power plants. It'd be like Corey going to school, my cousin and Dinky going to school, thinking they're going to become nuclear engineers, run a power plant, A lot of those nuclear engineers, when they get out of school, they usually end up being nuclear engineers through the military. Then they go into the power plant. Now, if they go into the power plant by itself, then, hypothetically, they're still expecting $250,000 to $1 million for school just to basically be a nuclear engineer. Now, give or take, the nuclear engineer costs just to be paid is I don't know how much, what they get paid, I mean, they never talk about what a nuclear engineer gets paid, because, is it hazard pay? Is it non-hazard pay? No one knows, right? So the bottom line is, when it comes to, me being self-educated, I don't have the numbers there. Sorry. I mean, I asked Dad the other day, right? And he actually I finally sat down to look it up. Yeah, move food across the country, canned foods and everything else. It's 2/3 by truck, 1/3 by train. Now, the trains usually move mostly bigger ticketed items like cars, car parts, and airplane parts or fuselages and stuff. So, look at the train. They're like, but then again, they say our network has not been updated there. So think of it. Think of it from the entire infrastructure section of this country. We got poor infrastructures, rail lines, bridges, freeways, which we all need to repair them. Then we have the other secondary infrastructure of the electric grid, water grid, power, water, and sewage. And then third, we have the sewage grid, which is basically the grid that goes to the treatment plants. You don't think they just dump everything in the sea? No, they have treatment plants, And then the fourth infrastructure is your garbage. Yeah, like Piper was saying, you got garbage, and you got garbage. What if the garbage keeps backing up? Then what? Piper was saying it the other night. You got rats coming in, rats and mice and bugs and dung beetles and poo beetles and other beetles and cockroaches and flies and I mean literally little vermin that can cause you to have um diseases. That's why they say, and when you're prepping, you need to make sure you can basically dispose of your trash. I mean, think of it. Let's just say hypothetically here, okay, that the infrastructure collapses, okay, and you still have electricity, but and you have food, and yet some type of infrastructure. Let's just say the stock market crashes. The stock market crashes, right? Then everyone's hurting, and they're hurting, and they're hurting, and they're hurting. Then, because the stock market crashes and everyone's worried about their money, what happens? Piper, he's sitting around. Let's just say I'm going to use Piper as an example, sitting around waiting for his boss to call in and say, "Hey, Piper, you got to work." But, Piper is only worried about one thing. How is he going to get paid for jumping in his truck, driving over? He's got to pay for his fuel to go to Chicago from Indiana. He's got to go and his fuel to Indiana. Then he's got to jump in his company's truck, which takes $500 of gas. Let's just say gas went up to $1,500 a tank or $2,000 because gas prices went through the roof because it's a luxury. Then what are they going to do? Drive around Chicago, pick up everyone's trash? No, they're going to basically be looking at cutting corners. City can't afford it. The city's become a dive hole for infestation of rot and stink. Not to mention if a stock market crash hypothetically or a breakdown of the system, the basic necessities are gone. Think of it this way. Let's just say hypothetically, me and Chloe, for example, we decide because of the years we have electricity, we have cooking materials, we have everything we need. We got to go and dump our stuff in the dumpster, right? Eventually, the manager comes out and says you can't dump anymore because there's no garbage pickup, for example, and the recycling bins are overflowing. Then what? You either figure a way to start breaking down stuff, or you're going to have to hope like heck something happens before the entire island's overrun by rats and mice and cockroaches and beetles and flies and stink bugs and you name it because of it. So, the thing is you got to look at one aspect of breaking it down in the system. What do? You can't put a wood stove in your house and just open it up and be like, trash in, trash out, and then rinse out your cans, recycle them. No, you're going to have a lot of problems. On top of that, you're going to have panic buyers. So you got to deal with panic buyers. You got to deal with trash thingies. But also, what if you're basically standing around and you're worried about your other stuff, your water. Say you're on a city water, the pumps aren't working. What do you do then when you need to flush the toilet after you took a massive turd? You better have water stocked to the side, like Higgins said. Dump it in. One set's for toilets, one's for drinking. And if your pumps aren't working, you won't be getting water out of the tap. So you better have your emergency water on hand to drink while they figure the water problem out. And that's a city problem. So you got the garbage problem and the water problem. You say, oh, well, the electricity's good. Yes, until eventually the electric grid can't be running, because why would they run the grid if the engineers aren't getting paid? What are they going to be promised? Back pay? While they're promising back pay, the government says we're restructuring things. You'll get paid, but secretly they don't know how to pay them because the banking system collapsed or something, or a civil war happens, or something else. I mean, think of it. The big picture is everything goes down the toilet. Then what? I mean, literally. You got to prep for all cases and scenarios. All cases. A lot of people just sit there and they prep for this or prep for that, but you know what? You need to prep for all cases and scenarios. Power goes out, keep extra lanterns and batteries, flashlights, wool blankets, sleeping bags, etc. If the weather gets bad and you got a snowstorm, prep for a snowstorm. If you know there's a hurricane coming, prep for a hurricane. If you know an earthquake, which no one knows, prep for those just in case. Prep for all natural disasters, but also prep for the breaking down of society and the breaking down of the system. I mean, think of it. The government cannot handle the breaking down of the system. I mean, think of it. FEMA comes out, right? FEMA comes out, and FEMA literally comes out. And then, they say, oh, we'll give you money and stuff, but really? Well, FEMA also buries a lot of those disposable coffins, and they can bury you in a mass grave because that's their orders. It's not like FEMA death camps or whatever people are saying over the years. Oh, we're gonna remember them. I haven't seen one yet. I've heard about them, but I haven't seen them activate them. So no one knows. But the thing is they have a lot of contingency plans that the government keeps to themselves, and so.
Submerged in the marsh. He is okay, but reporting that the Jeep is rolled in the ditch. Then I copy. I'll go see what I can find out. 1246.
So the bottom line is for you Americans out there, the everything is real. The thing is, it's how much you want to take and step up your game. I mean, literally, a lot of people have been messaging me about Christmas. Oh, what do we do about Christmas? What do we do about Christmas? You don't do anything about Christmas. That's the damn. You don't do anything about Christmas because there's nothing to do. I mean, literally, we're in a pandemic. Okay, we're in coronavirus, a monkeypox. We also people aren't going back to work, as me and Piper were talking about, and they're lazy. I mean, literally, as long as the food stamps flow in and they get free rent. I mean, let me tell you about my advocate, okay? The one I talked to the other day asking for advice on something. Chloe's going to actually go down and make room to talk to the therapist for Chloe. But Chloe's got to go in and fill out paperwork for the dentist, because she's got a tooth she needs to be taken care of, right? So you guys sit there and you say, oh, well, that's great and that's gravy. That's awesome. That's cool, whatever, right? But again, you got to ask yourself, how much are you willing to step up your game, even at Christmas time? I mean, you got all this, right? And my advocate, she's working her butt off. She doesn't even answer emails unless it's priority. So, like, if I email her, they're ignoring because they're too damn busy. They're busy handling free internet, free phone, free rent, free electricity, free dental. I mean, let's just picture it from my perspective. Okay? I was talking to her the other day about, replacing Moppy eventually, the new service dog, right? Another service dog, for me. Moppy's like, what, 13 years old, 12 years old, something like that. I think he's 11. Let's see. We got him in 2013. Daddy got him in 2011, I think. Maybe it was 2011. Anyways, he's like 11 years old, going on 12. Yet, at the same time, Moppy is still as sprig as a spring chicken right now. So technically, because I'm prepping and looking to get a new service dog eventually, by the way, everyone knows me by now. I have a Shih Tzu named Moppy. I love dearly. He's my doggy. My doggy. Don't hurt the doggy. I'll show you guys my doggy. Unless he ran into the room. There he is, doggy. Look, okay. Here. Oh, yeah. Came into the Moppy for showing you on video. Yeah. Oh, I see you want cuddles this morning. I love when you want cuddles. Okay, see, here's my doggy. See, my doggy. Service dog Moppy. Say hello. Hello, everyone. My name's Moppy. So, this dog means the world to me. When my husband died, the animal control wanted to take him and give him a home. I refused to give him up. You see? See how adorable this little guy is? He's like a little Ewok. Or as Fanny would say, one of the most chill dogs in the world. Hey, what's wrong? Huh? You want payment, don't you? That's why you're up here? You're up here for a payment, huh? Little greedy dog. Little greedy dog. Greedy dog. Greedy dog. Good morning. See, this is my doggy. See, my doggy says, payment. I'm on video, I get payment. And then Chloe says, Moppy, you're a greedy doggy. She always says that. She only wants to come up here for a payment,
Moppy, you're a greedy puppy.
So, anyways, my cousin Dinky's looking for a new doggy companion for him to play with. A nice little sister or brother, What is Moppy, huh? You want a companion?
He needs one.
No, I want a payment. I don't need that. I need a payment. You see, you know what the real problem is with companions? I'll tell you. Is if you get a companion dog and Aunt Tara does this for me, I'm going to be mad at Aunt Tara for one reason. That cuts into my payments for myself. Then I have to share my box of payments with some freeloading hobo that came into the life.
Well, what that other dog earned them? Huh? What if the other dog earned payments? Huh?
Don't even start. I'm the only pup in this household. You won't even get me a pup cup from the coffee shop. A pup cup? Yeah, I'm subscribed to Raku the Shih Tzu on Instagram. And every time they're going to Starbucks, it's like, where's my pup cup? So I want a pup cup too. All right.
So, Moppy, what if the other dog earned a payment and you didn't? Or how about this, Moppy? How about you both have to earn payments in order to get payments, right? That both dogs have to do something good.
And then on top of that, you guys are so tight wattage you won't replace the can. New can will be coming soon.
Bobby, we have to be fair to all dogs here if we have more dogs.
No, I want to be fair. I'm the king Shih Tzu. Give me that damn payment.
That's the king dog. I don't care if after that said you get a big dog. I'll still rule over you.
So anyway, so the story goes, okay, as I always think my advocates distancing themselves because of Chloe's temper, right? The advocate comes up with, oh, we're so busy. Well, think about it, right? Think about it for a minute, right? So Chloe goes in on Tuesday. Chloe's really looking forward to going Tuesday. And that's the day Chloe can go out and get some coffee or, grab me a cup of coffee, check on the batteries. Actually, she's going to check the batteries on Monday, but she's going in on Tuesday, right? She's going in on Tuesday because she has to get the release of info. She wants the advocate to let the therapist know to start speeding up the therapy before she loses her Medicaid, and then they're stuck at crisis intervention. I mean, think of it this way, okay? This is how the freaking state works. Higgins is like, oh, my Medicaid, they won't take, no doctors will take my Medicaid, right? Same goes with mental health professions. They're getting to the point where they use people as a Medicaid with Medicaid's mental as a number. I mean, think of it this way. Chloe was, I told Chloe one intake. Chloe didn't give her records or anything. Chloe's like, no. One intake, and three appointments for crisis intervention. Where's the therapy where they talk about how to better yourself, right? So I talked to the advocate, and the advocate said, oh, so you're not looking at the nuclear option to get rid of Chloe. You're asking me to intervene by going in and talking to this lady and say, look, this is what's wrong with Chloe, and get it fixed, and then the lady and I were talking about the glasses. Again, Chloe needs to start putting money in an envelope, put it in the safe, earmarked for her goals. She wants to go to Seattle? Seattle goal. Chloe wants new glasses, which I don't see Chloe even wearing glasses anymore. Did you break your last pair of glasses, Missy?
The things came off. They came off of them.
So, anyways, my glasses, as you know, are falling apart. And I told this to my advocate the other day. And my advocate, she literally is like, well, the doctors aren't working on it. We're still having problems with Lions Club, right? Problem is, I talk to the doctors that once a week, the Lions Club, you know. So then I said, I emailed the Lions Club directly, the new director. They can't get a deal with America's Best or Lens Crafter. So they're stuck with leaving the entire island to be without blind people, except for hearing aids. The doctor for the hearing aids will take the hearing aids. But, I'm due to go up there anyways one of these days for a follow-up and get my hearing aid tunes when we find them. The hearing aid.
I'm going to make something small to eat, and I'm going to be cleaning up and taking him out. Okay, go on with your hearing aid.
Wasn't thinking about hearing aids.
What are you thinking about?
I could use a lunch too, but
You
we don't.
You want for lunch?
I don't know. I'm worried about the hamburger buns over there. I think they're bad. So, I can't have fish sandwiches. I don't want to eat cream cheese. And frankly, I don't have hot dog buns, so I can't have hot dogs for lunch.
I will get the buns today then. I can
No. You said being in today. I respect that. The only thing I could have is pot pies, but that takes an hour.
This is best by September 23rd. They should still be good.
Yeah, well, I wanted hot dogs one of these days,
Well, you got fish. Sandwiches will be good for you.
Yeah.
Just have the fish sandwiches.
I don't really want fish sandwich today.
It's food.
No. I can wait till dinner. I can go basically hungry for lunch, because frankly I'm very picky.
We'll make it Sal's early today.
Well, she's having lunch no matter what, so I mean literally. I would like a tasty lunch. We gotta get the trash out eventually so I can do a fridge cleaning so we can make room.
I'm trying to get these flies out of here.
Yeah, I turned on the sink on the left side. You should have seen there was like 500 million coming up on the right side I made.
Yeah. They'll go away once their food source is gone.
Yeah, well, sorry to say, but
They'll start going outside to the dumpster to eat the trash that people throw out there. Which there are a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff. Yeah, they come out with that trash thing.
Anyways, I would love to have some lunch, but I'm picky, I mean, I could eat a fish sandwich today, but the truth is I got pot pies. I got 4 pot pies. By the way, these are like $17. I got clam strips, which I don't want, and I was supposed to do pot pies last night. And then I got fish. Fish. Fish, actually.
Honestly, if you want pot pies, can you wait 50 minutes while it cooks?
So for some of you, I'm talking here. For some of you out there, this is open. So there's crispy. I think wasn't that the last batch you did was crispy for me?
Beer, I think you did beer battered. I'm not
okay.
sure.
So there's no crispy. So we got crispy, beer battered, and crunchy. No, if I was gonna have fish sandwiches, it'd probably be the crunchy to try. That seems pretty interesting, but still,
I think I'm some fish for you.
So, what you do is you get like 4 of them, right, people? And then you put them on a sandwich and then you throw some tartar sauce in there as lunch.
How about a pot pie?
50 minutes? No thanks. Because once I'm out of pot pies, that's it. The crispy fish, I guess I can have the crunchy fish and see if it's really crunchy. I don't mind eating it. It's just, what? Yeah, he's looking at me like, you made my meal.
I'm going to find some mashed potatoes to make with the Sal's tonight.
So, anyways, like I said, everyone, we had a planned power outage, and because of it, you need to, oh, wow, isn't this interesting? So apparently we got this flyer from the Disney Club. Can you believe that, people? So apparently they're putting some Disney Club thing in my mailbox, which is coming in late. I mean, the informed delivery is like, oh yeah, it's you guys, I'm from Disney. I don't want Disney. So, anyways, I got to get to my game soon, like I said, because, we're already running, 2 hours, 21 minutes. Tomorrow is going to be Sunday, which is my day of rest, which means I'm going to spend some time reading my Bible, playing my game all day. I'm not going to get on Sunday at all because, no one's asked me to be on Sunday. And, I got things to do Sunday. So it works very well. So no Sunday edition at all. I'm going to try to do, Monday through Saturday, I will do editions until someone asks me to re-up the prepping bids where I do the pricing. I just find it to be kind of I kind of find it to be kind of, and eventually once Chloe gets all those dishes done, I'd like to do an experiment with a load, see if it washes it. I think the dishwasher is prone to humidity, so I think once we get that fired up, we should be fine. It has been working for almost 2 months, so I'm ready to see if the humidity is down, that we can actually use it with no problem, Because if it isn't, I'll have to earmark some money to buy a new one. So, we'll one thing at a time, we just got to take it one day at a time. Right, Moppy? Oh, yeah, look at him. He's just a happy little doggo. The happy little doggo. I should take a picture since he's being good. Take a quick picture and send it off to, right, Moppy? Little happy little mop. Smile, mop. Smile. Yeah, give me a little picture for you, mop. Moppy. If you look at the camera, Moppy, you might get a treat. Treater. Yeah. Yeah, give me, Come here. Yeah, hold on. You sit there. Yeah. All right. Let's send it off to Aunt Tara, and I'll give you another payment just because you've earned it. All right, there we go. Moppy's got his picture. See, there you go. He's there. One more payment today, Chloe.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, I'm trying to get this started to soak. I'm gonna cook some, but I'm also kind of starting to soak this up so I can start this load today.
Yeah. Here we go. So, anyways, for all you out there, like I said, I want to get to my game. I have nothing better to do right now. So I will personally be gaming and then an Animal Crossing course, and then I will deal with other issues later.
Guys are allergic to cleaning chemicals when I eventually start wiping this down.
Oh, they will. They'll fall over dead. So for the rest of you out there, like I said, stay tuned. I might do a night edition depending on my mood. Last night I didn't. I was supposed to do a night edition last night, but lo and behold, we blame Zoe for this. Me and Chloe got into Ratchet. Great show. We want to finish it up. Each of us got caught up. After Chloe went to bed, I turned it off and I went and watched the first 2 episodes of the Crown, and then I fell asleep myself. So, I love. I think I watched the first episode and fell asleep again. So I thought, Oh, great. You know what? I'm starting to dislike, these emails from Democrats saying, we need money. Well, then collect from someone else because I ain't paying. I am a poor person, and that's the thing, people are sitting there, and they wonder why, like Higgins, SSI has been updated since 72. Big deal. Don't care. 50 years. Not my problem. So,
Fresh potatoes or something. Unless we have some mashed potato mixes. I'm making that with the sauce dinner tonight.
The food bank is closed now.
Well, today's Saturday, yes, I understand.
See, I was being a smart ass because she usually gets potatoes from the food bank.
Yeah, I'm just going to pick one up at this.
So, anyways, I just want to share that with you. I want to say I hope you guys have a great evening. And I might be back depending on if my game controllers need to be charged. Otherwise, I might put Ratchet in early. I blame Zoe. Got to blame someone for it. Blame the Ducky for it. That's a great show, actually. So I'm glad she recommended it. Fortunately, dear old dad didn't recommend it at all. Dear old Dado was, I don't think you'd like it because you're not into thrillers. Well, let's just say I read the book and I've read the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and stuff. So I think the people that wanted to do this wanted to come up, and Chloe and I are looking forward to season 2 when and if it comes out, because we are curious to see how. Sometimes I wonder if these police officers or sheriff ever asleep. I mean, that guy's been working like 4 days straight, like 12 hours.
We want to see One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest scene where the Jack Nicholson character comes into play.
Oh yeah, I can see if that's available.
I mean, if that season.
You mean yeah, I know who you're talking about. Randall McMurtry.
Yeah.
Randall McMurtry. Yeah, I hope so. Maybe they'll work on that. But still, it's that it's interesting. So it's kind of interesting how it plays out. So I'm my cousin Dinky, she won't watch it because it might be a thriller, but it ain't true crime. She likes true crime, things that really did happen. So to me, I'm like, So anyways, my game's calling. I told Dinky I'd be on. She didn't post or watch, so hopefully, she gets this show later. I want to thank her again for making stockings for me. Even though, Zoe and I are on Zoe's crap list right now. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'm going to focus on games, and I'm going to focus on spreadsheets until I get those done. And then I might focus on more spreadsheets next month. I mean, the longer you keep focusing on something, the more you can forget about it, because, in the meantime, I'm thinking about lunch, eventually. I don't know how it's going to taste, but you know what? I'll have a couple burgers, try it out.
Burgers?
No, yeah, you know what I mean. My fish sandwich. Really wanted hot dogs today, but However, I'm actually kind of afraid of eating lunch anyways, because if I eat the sandwich, what if I'm full till 3 a.m? I mean, literally, we can't just keep putting our dinner off either. So, at least the bowl and the pot's clean, so I can actually use it if I want. Once the stove's clean, I can make the ramen up anytime I want. Just keep eating ramen until it's done. And then I'm good to go, So, ramen, and I can do ramen, and then I can do ramen slowly but surely, and then replace what ramen I've eaten. So, that's my meal plan. So, for the rest of you out there, please add and subscribe. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggestion, hit the like, subscribe button. So some fun for your family, including your dogs, cats, bunnies, service dogs, service bunnies. Hit the bell notification. Give a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Just leave the comments nice is all we ask. And God bless you and everything you do. And we'll see you maybe tonight for the night edition if I'm in the mood. Thank you. And God bless you and everything you do.